Hello, I'm Edwina Hodkinson. I'm a medical herbalist and we're off down the lane opposite where we live, and it's absolutely full of blackberries and ripening elderberries and haws. And we've also got these lovely sort of like blackberry vines, the bramble vines that are just coming across the path. Now these are absolutely ideal to make cordage from, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So getting one of the new vines, yeah, you don't want old blackberry vines. So something new, it looks fresh, it looks healthy. And I've got a pair of scissors, good scissors, and I've also got a scrap piece of leather as well. So you need something thick to work with where you're not going to sort of, damage your hands with all the thorns, because they are pretty dangerous bits of equipment. So just cutting that off, and then I'm going to just snip off these little branches. You see it's just so full of thorns and sticking to my clothes already. That's why you need that to sort of hold it with. Yeah, I'm snipping off the end. So what you've got is a piece of very prickly sort of vine, and I'm just scraping off the thorns at the end there so I can hold on to it. And then what I'm going to do is just take this piece of leather and just move it down, and just a few times. So what I'm doing with that is just removing some of those thorns. It's a really simple way of doing it because I don't want to have my skin pricked with them. So just snipping off the ends like that, making sure I've got them all. Then all I'm going to do is just start to peel back, and this is what I'm getting, just this almost like an outer bark, and this is a really nice piece. You can probably just start to see some of the fibres in there. So let's get to this taken back, start to pull a few pieces down like that. Okay, so look at that, that's what you want. Now you will still find you've got the outer covering on, and then just peel it right back like that. Okay, so you want these to be nice and long and just to come off easily. Look at this. It's a skill to be learned, but a really nice one. So thinking about ancestors, late in summer, early autumn, this is some of the strongest cordage, and you can get quite long pieces of this in a very short space of time. This would have been used to tie things down in winter. This one's quite a prickly one. I always think this is a bit of a public service that you're doing as well, in clearing sort of some of these really long vines from the public footpath and stopping them snagging other people. And I'm sure our ancestors viewed it in that way as well. Look at that one, that is so prickly. Look at the thorns on that, that could do some damage. So yeah, being very, very careful with this one. I'm just making sure I get the thorns off the end there, just so I can hold it and it's not going to do me any damage. And then just a quick, so I love using bits of old suede or leather because it really keeps your fingers safe. I've tried doing this with cloth, but it's not quite so good. There we are. So still a little bit rough, but don't worry about any roughness because this outer bark will just peel off anyway once you get your fibres. So if we can get some nice long bits, so you can just run your fingers along those. Pulling those off. If I get some nice fibres there. See that just coming off? And then what you can do with something like this is just run your thumb along it and pull any excess bits off. It's probably why my nails are quite filthy at the moment through doing this. Got bits of bark in. So yeah, look at that there. And then just take that off. And so you've got a nice bit of sort of fibre there, plant fibre, and you can probably just almost see, can you see the little sort of threads there, fine threads. This is going to be great. When I've got enough of this, I'm going to take this home to dry it. The beauty about doing Bramble is that you can get quite a lot of material in a very short space of time. Nature just gives and gives and gives. I've been really busy. Look how much I've collected. It was just nice to go down the lane and very meditative to strip off the stalks. So now I've got them home, what I'm doing is I'm just running my fingernail along them just to get off the remaining bits of the outer bark. And as you can see, there's sort of almost like it looks a little bit, you can see that inner bark now that's sort of like quite clean. And that's got all the fibre in. So you can see all I'm doing is just running my fingernails along them just to prepare them and to put them into smaller strips just to dry, so you can see how easily that peels off. That's some of the outer bark. Now it's at home. Yeah, so just take a few moments just to do that. Then when you've got those strips, bark fibre prepared, then just leave them to dry. And I've had these dry in for a few hours in the sun, so they will look like this when they're dry, a little bit like straw. Can you see how sort of tough that is? So to start the cordage, let's just get a few strands. So when you start, don't bend it in the middle, go to the side, so you've got sort of like 1/3, 2/3. There's a reason for this, and do a twist, right? So I like to twist towards me, but other people will prefer to twist away. So twist towards you, and can you see how you're getting a twist in the fibre? Now bring your fingers together and you'll see it form a loop, right? Hold that loop. And you can see that's already half twisted. You'll have to forgive the colour of my nails because I've been sort of pulling back the bark with it. So if you can twist, if you take the top strand, twist it towards you and then wind it round to the back, and then taking the top strand, twist it towards you and wind it round to the back. So what you'll see me doing here is actually two twists in opposite directions. They have to be in opposite directions. I prefer to twist towards me and then wind it to the back. Other people might prefer it to twist it to the back and then take it to the front. It doesn't matter which one you do. I'm just more comfortable with this. So all I'm doing is a twist to the forward, twist forward, wind it to the back. Take the top one, twist it forward, wind it to the back. And you can see what's happening here. That's starting to cord, and it's quite neat. When you do it at first, you might find it's not so neat, but don't worry at all. I've been doing it for years. So you can see, and you just keep repeating this and it becomes very relaxing. So taking the top one, twist it towards you, wind it to the back until you've got another strand at the top, twist it towards you, wind it to the back, twist towards you, wind to the back. Okay, so you can see how this is growing. You see how lovely that is. You will get to a point where you need to join them. If you want to do long strands of this, then joining becomes important. So you can see when we start to think about joining that you have two different lengths, because when you join onto these two strands, what you don't want is the join at the same place, because that means it's a weak spot. So you want to have the join staggered. So I'm going to show you how I join. I'm just making sure that that's all sort of quite smooth and there's no rough bits there. Another strand of this, and you don't have to do your strand all at the same time, you know, so start to lie the new strands alongside the ones that you've nearly run out of. Yeah, so you can see how they're lying alongside it, and then just incorporate those into your twist. Right, so I'll do that again. Okay, so twisting it to forward, and can you see how I have incorporated that strand in there? You can't even see it. Right, so what I've got at the top is that the strands are actually thinning. Yes, so they do feel a little bit uneven. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start adding new ones into that twist, just to start to thicken them. So you see what I'm doing, and then just keep adding until you get what feels like a different thickness. What you do have to watch out for is that sometimes this can grow a bit thicker. So what I normally do if I'm left with a strand like that, I just wind it, bend it double and wind it back in, because it's just nice to get a lovely seamless length of cord. So you can see there, when you get little bits sticking out like that, which you do get when you get to the end of a cord, just snip those off, but not too close because you don't want to unwind them. That is a very, very strong piece of cord, and you can carry on doing this until you run out. If you think our ancestors would have made lots of this time of the year, and this is a very, very strong fibre, and they probably would have doubled it or made it very thick and used this to tie down roofs, or, you know, keep houses secure and things secure over the very sort of stormy winter months. So enjoy.